Joining our lecture on the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're on chapter 1, slide 131. Let's jump right into it. Kumbhana King Robert's arms gain a passage into liberation of universally emitting light and destroying heavy obstacles resembling a mountain.
永见壁鸠盘荼王得普放光明，灭如山众障解脱门。
All right, 132, commentary slide. This Kumbhanda king, this is celestial king in the heavens. They live in the heavens here. And the first, about the level, the first is high heaven. And so Kumbhanda is a reminder. They're melon ghosts. They're shaped like melons, no legs. Okay, and they usually bother you when you sleep. When you sleep, you wake up and you feel like you can't move. You are like frozen and paralyzed. That's your friendly local Kumbhanda ghost who came for a visit. You're the lucky one. Okay? So they're terrifying, and in very rare cases, the victims forget to sleep and they get asphyxiated. They die because they fail to breathe. Can you imagine? Oops, shouldn't be laughing. Huh? You panic and you don't know what to do, and you even forget to breathe. Okay, it's a very rare cases where they happen. That's what they do. But typically, they would terrorize you so that you become awake, and you wake up and you don't dare. Okay, anyone has that experience? Happened to me about 5 times already. Kumbhanda ghosts would sit on my body, and I couldn't move. Okay, kind of. They spare no one. All right, so he has robust arms, meaning he's very strong, very, Arnold kind of thing, Mr. Olympia kind of thing. And so he's known to be very strong. So his arm are like weapons. Okay, so because of that name, the ghosts and troublemakers are scared of him because he can be violent, can attack them. And what does he do to become enlightened? Okay, it's a different world. We trying to be true, we're trying to be compassionate. They're way beyond that. You see, enlightenment has so many levels that each level requires different types of practices. Okay, don't think enlightenment is it's a monolithic group block where everyone does the same. No, enlightenment has umpteenth different pathways. Okay, so what does he do to get what he is? He gained a passion in liberation. He became enlightened. Of universally emitting light and destroying heavy obstacles as heavy as a mountain. And light shines everywhere and dispelling obstacles as heavy as a weighty mountain. Okay, and Master Shinhwa says, your karmic obstructions have no shape, no form. If your karmic obstruction really have shape and form, it will fill up entire empty space, and it's still not enough room for it. That's how scary it is, folks. We've been creating karmas since beginningless time. That's why it's endless. So this Kumbhanda king knows that, okay? Knows that, and he knows that the biggest problem in our cultivation are obstructions. Okay, so he makes it his point of, since in order to reach his high level of enlightenment, high level of wisdom, he needs to solve big problems, not small problems. Okay, He's not worried about fame and profit. That's too small. He's fixing his problem that is living beings, karmic obstruction. He will help take care of all those. Okay? Any of you who have any obstructions, karmic obstruction, any obstruction to your cultivation, he can help. Okay? What kind of obstruction? This is where it's interesting that the Buddhist dictionary chose to approach a different thing. There are different types of karmic obstruction, 3 kinds. Okay? One is karma obstructions. Okay? Karma obstructions here, by definition, for you, for your reference, here is very important. When you cultivate, there's certain very heavy obstruction, karmic obstructions, that makes it virtually impossible for you to cultivate. What are they? They are the 5 unintermittent karmas, meaning the karmas that make you fall into the worst place in this world, the unintermittent hell. Anyone have been there? Raise your hands, all of you. All of you have been there, I assure you. This is why now you're here, learning to find a way not to get back there. Okay? The unintermittent hells are the kind of hells where you get tortured non-stop. It's not a single moment of break. You go to hell here, to prison here, which is like similar to the hells, but nowhere near the kind of suffering. It's prison here, at least you're fat, at least you have a chance to watch Jerry Springer shows, and get a chance to exercise with your inmates, punch her in the mouth and stuff like that. It's a very good form of exercise, okay? But in unintermittent hells, it's suffering from beginning to end. The moment you're born there, you suffer and you suffer and suffer and suffer and you die. You can't take it, you die, and you revive and you suffer again, non-stop. There's not ever a break in your suffering. If you think that cultivating at BLI is suffering, you ain't seen nothing yet. You think Jubi is suffering, it's not. Okay? Got that? Okay. Jumi, after you've been to unintermittent hell, Jumi is like heavens. Heavenly being. So pretty, so annoying, so marvelous. Okay? So why is it an obstruction? Because it's an obstruction because once you fall to lower realms, by the way, I know one of my master's disciple who's down there right now. True. I swear to God. Okay? Master Shua disciple, his own disciple. Yeah. And why is it called karmic obstructions? Because once you go down there, it takes forever to get out. And I mean forever. Okay? Here. You come here, you only have to suffer for 100 years. Okay? Bear your boyfriend's temper, bear your husband's being so miserly. No new washer and dryer this year, I would get, if I were you, Jumi, I call Musyong and then ask for XM3 every new one every every year or so. Okay? Anyway, is he there? Oops, he's there. You come to the right place to learn about life and the good life. Anyway, Unintermittent hell is very difficult to cultivate. Okay, you go down there, you suffer, you have no thoughts to cultivate. You only think of just surviving. All right? You guys are so ungrateful. You come here, you say, I want to cultivate, I want to become enlightened. I want to gain wisdom. That thought right there is impossible for these people. They simply are trying to stop the pain, stop the suffering, and they can't. And it's so overpowering. There's nothing else they can do but think of suffering and pain. It's desperation. Okay? And they live like this for a long, long time. And guess what? After they're dead, after a long time, their term comes to an end. What happens? Go right back. And right back, right back, okay? And then after they're done, okay, eventually you go to the next hell, which is right next to it, which is not as severe. If unintermittent hell, suffering is 100%, next one is 98%. Very charming life. Let me tell you, these places where these people at the worst one, they say, "Wow, I like to go on vacation." They get sent to 98% suffering hell. That's a vacation for them. Yes, questions. 7.
Master, I'm just wondering, what can we possibly do to deserve going to a hell and be tortured constantly and forever? Like, what can a nun or monk possibly do to deserve that?
Nothing. You ask me, nothing. I'm just being normal. That's what you ask them. People actually, CBS sent a reporter down there and asked, "What did you do? What do you think you did to get down here?" I said, "Nothing. I just live my own life." So what did they do? Specifically, Jumi, this is what you want to memorize. Don't memorize what I say. Memorize how you get to the house. See, he's only thinking about washer and dryers. And how do you get down there? Anyone knows. Sangbuk Sunim, you are the translator of Vajra Sutra. You ought to know this. Teji Sunim, how do you know? You mean to tell me that you've been practicing, cultivating all these decades, and you don't know what not to do in order to avoid these places? You don't know? Seriously? Where did you go to school? Yes, Yumi.
제가 현재 기억하고 있는 거는 승가의 화합을 깼을 때 그 지옥에 가고, 그 다음에 부처님 몸에 피를 냈을 때, 아라한을 죽였을 때, 부모님을 죽였을 때로 기억하고 있습니다.
Master, what I remember is when you break the harmony of Sangha, and number 2, shed blood of Buddha, and then also you kill Arhat, and also when you kill your parents.
What are who?
Arhat.
Aragu? I say Arahu or Aragu? It sounds like ragu. You know, in French, in Vietnam, we have a dish called ragu. Anyway, correct. When I heard, I knew it already. She knew how the answer. This woman is very knowledgeable, unlike the rest of you. Shame on you. Only Koreans know. There are 5 different types of offenses that are guaranteed to bring you to the promised land. Okay? Number 1, shedding a Buddha's blood. Okay? Let me skip that for now. Okay? Killing an Arhat. By the way, folks, at our temples, there are quite a few Arhats. Don't kill any of them. Okay? meaning arhats or higher, you're going to fall to the unintermittent hells for sure. Okay? Don't do that. That's number 2. What's number 3? Killing of a father, killing of your mother. Number 5, destroying the harmony of the Sangha. Is that clear? Memorize it. Someone finds it funny. Okay. Yeah. So, what about shedding the Buddha's blood? If you make the Buddha bleed, you're guaranteed to fall to this hell. Guaranteed. No one can save you. Trust me, no one can save you. Okay? Not Master Shenhua, not anyone. Okay? But he's no longer alive. We're safe, aren't we? Happy? Huh? Wrong. How do you shed Buddha's blood nowadays? You may want to know about this. Yes, sir. 6.
Master, is it when we spread the false dharma of the Buddha?
No, that's not even close. Yes, old Abbot, number 1, happened to be number 1 microphone.
Ngày nay làm thân Phật giả máu là chúng ta đốt phá làm bể hình tượng Phật hoặc là xé đốt những tượng Phật bằng giấy.
Hello, Master. Nowadays, when we shred the Buddha blood, it means that we burn a sutra or any image of the Buddha and break the Buddha statue.
The Vietnamese, they buy a lot of porcelain Buddha statues, Bodhisattva statues. And they usually nick them. They break a piece like the flight behind them, is broken. Okay. Or they break a finger, especially the Buddhas, they like to point the fingers, I'm saving you, and those kind of mudras. And it's one tiny piece. And so it's not uncommon for these porcelain, the ceramic Buddha statues to have missing fingers, missing toes, lights behind them. You name it, it's everywhere. And they don't realize that thing will go to the hells. No one dares tell them. Okay? And the ones who came here and broke those things, see? You see them around? No. Yes, one.
Con có coi cách đây khoảng 6 tháng, con coi trên mạng có một cái chùa Việt Nam mà không biết bên Canada hay Việt Nam không biết. Thì mấy sư cô mới nói là chúng tôi không có chấp hình tướng. Thì đem trước Buddha Ho thế này nè, cầm cao lên luyện chút nát bằng sành đó, rồi dẫm lên trên đó đi. Nói chúng tôi không có chấp tướng. Mà trong cái mạng đó không có nói chùa nào.
Let me translate for you. Master XC has knows someone, probably his friends, who a nun who says we're not attached to marks, so they would take a statue, and throw it down. It breaks into pieces, okay, and it became very popular. Okay, lots of people watched it. Okay, I don't know what kind of friends he hangs out with, but YouTube question.
Thank you, Master. Cordelia has a question. Amitabha Master, when the temple hits the big bell, it reaches the hells and beings there get a break. Does the sound of the bell reach the Avicii hells? Thank you.
Nope. Most likely not. I haven't been down there yet. Well, at least I forgot how it's like down there. They don't deserve to hear the bell. That's how tough it is. They're supposed to suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer. Okay? There's no exceptions. You mess with the Buddha, you're going to pay. All right, next type of obstructions, which is the retribution obstructions. Meaning that because you afflicted, you create karmas from a state of affliction. That's why you're going to fall to the three lower realms. Meaning that you become an animal, you become a ghost, you go to the hells. It sounds like it's the same thing, isn't it? The hells? It's different hells. The first type is the worst hells possible. Okay? It's so bad, there's no tourism there at all. Okay? Whereas the other hells are a lot less severe. You know, like you may be tortured to death, but at least you have a break. Okay? You say like you have a break after lunch when you are too full. Okay? So they give you a break, that kind of thing. And sometimes you receive a phone call from your mother. Okay? But the unintermittent hell or Avicii hell, they are the worst kind. Okay? Constant suffering, day and night. Okay? For forever. So this here is the retribution instruction refers to the fact you fall into the three evil paths. Again, there's very heavy obstructions because when you fall into the hells, the ghost realms and the animal realms, it's very, very difficult to get out. It takes forever. So that's why you don't realize the mere fact you see a animal that's dead and you recite the Buddha's name for it, you know, you're doing it tremendous favors. Because otherwise, it has no blessings to be able to get out from the animal realm until after a very long, long, long time. It's very scary, trust me. It's not easy at all. Okay? And so that's the second part, where it's a karmic retribution. So it's the remaining three evil paths, if you will. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Hello, Master. Is there a way to repent if you unknowingly make the Buddha bleed? Because I can think of 3 examples where I had a T-shirt with a Buddha face or Buddha image on it, and I lost it. Or there were ramen packets with Guan Yin images printed on them, and then I just threw it away.
Yeah.
One of the statues that we have at home came with a broken finger. So.
Did you break that finger, or if you didn't break the finger, it's not your problem. It's the person who breaks the finger that has a problem.
Oh yeah, I tried to repair it, but.
If you repair it and then you break it, then you have a problem. Okay, what about all the images or statues that you damage yourself? I'm afraid I don't know how to save you. Oops, you shouldn't be laughing. Okay? Anyway, you know, it's funny. Once I told you about this, the Vietnamese on my TV show, which I had about 10 years ago, I usually have a 4-year TV show every day. Every week is like 1 hour, half hour or something, and on Vietnamese TV. And when I talked about these hells here, that if you ruin, you break Buddha images, Buddha statues, okay, break a finger or break the light behind them, which I see so many, okay, and if you throw it in the garbage bin, okay, that's a very serious offense too, next to breaking them. Very serious, okay? So they said, so what do we do? They said, well, they typically bring it to the Vietnamese temple. And then the Vietnamese temple, Master old abbots are friends, they would break them for them because they're not attached to forms, to marks. Okay? And after that, and then the monks and nuns said, so what do we do with these statues? I said, I don't know. It's not my problem. Okay? So eventually they begged. So they said, please help us. I said, well, in that case, you can bring it to me or to this Master Shinoha's temple. They know what to do with it. Don't break them. Okay? Don't burn them. Don't punch holes in the images. Be careful. Okay? You usually let the people who can dispose of them take care of them. So I still in my house, I still have a statue from my co-host on that show who would collect all these broken statues. He tried to fix them and make them whole again, and then give them out again and give it to people to worship. This one here is so bad he couldn't fix it, so he gave it to me. Nice guy. I still have it. Okay. So there's a way to dispose of it seriously. Any way to dispose of it, you should go bring it to the proper people. Because if you bring to a temple, it says, I dispose of it for you. Okay? Let's say any temple you walk in and say, I just heard I'm not supposed to, to break this broken statue of the Buddha. It's like it's one arm, or like Venus, no arms. Venus de Milo at the Louvre. Don't go to the museums. Seriously? Never seen it? Deji Sunim. No arms. What are you talking about? Where have you been, my boy? This is a Venus de Milo statue at the Louvre in Paris. Apple San Jose, talk to him. She just visited that statue. That lady, even that lady is only. There's another one, Master, where she's naked on a plant. That's a drawing. It's not a statue. You peasant. God, no culture at all. Ooh, how can you live like that? Anyway, and so typically, if you bring it, you give it to say, okay, I have this broken statue. I don't know what to do with it. Let me dump it on Master X's friend's temple and let her crush it because she needs more statues to crush them every week, every day. You do it on purpose. You go to the hell to yourself because you do it on purpose. You know full well that they will break it. If you want to try, okay, give a broken statue to XD here. Let him break it and see what happens to him and to you. You know full well he's not trained to do these things. Just give it to him and say, I offer you some gift coupon to this very nice place in San Francisco. You like it. Okay? And see what happens to him. All right? So you like that too much. So you You have to be careful. You cannot say that, you know full well this nun-friend of Master XC is really kind of deviant, kind of a salesperson, a con person. That's why she can dare, break Buddha statues and destroy Buddha's images. Okay, it's not very wise. And you still give them those things. You are culprit as well. You also are responsible as well. You fall along with XD to the same place. You be neighbors. He's right here, you're right next to him. Okay? Watching each other be tortured to death. Ow, ow! YouTube question.
Thank you,
Now that everyone is awake, and we can go to serious business.
You have a question here from Samson Lau. Amitabha Master, there's a brand of jasmine rice called the Buddha brand with the Buddha's image on the bag. Does this mean everyone who unknowingly threw the bag away would fall into the hells? I bought this brand once and I kept the bag. Can I bring the bag to Gold Forest?
No way. What do you think we are? Who do you think we are? Garbage can? Isn't it amazing that these people make a living selling Buddha images on a bag of rice? And guess what? They're all going to the hells. It's nuts. What people do for a living is weird. But thank you, Samson Lau. I have to stop buying these type of rice. Okay? So anyway, any kind of images that you destroy, okay, you fall to this hell. Any questions? Okay? And so, Master Hsuan explains here, the three evil paths in general are created because of your greed, anger, and stupidity. If you nurture those in your mind, you are planting seeds for you to fall to these three lower realms. Okay? Meaning that if you are too greedy, where are you going to fall? You planted the seeds for you to fall to hungry ghost realm. They're always hungry and greedy. They're always hungry and thirsty. Okay? That's from excessive greed. If you are prone to anger, where do you fall? Typically, the hells. Remember in the paintings of Dante, the hells like fire, hell, okay? It's from the fire of anger. The Catholics got it right, okay? What about animal realm? Stupidity. Okay? Is that clear? Not interested, I guess. You say, oh, never happened to me. Master will send me to Pureland. Good luck. Okay? Okay. He talks about a lot of things. Okay, and you can read it yourself. I'm kind of following behind schedule here, and what's interesting here, what he talked about is very good for you. Okay, he says there. So we talked about the third kind of obstruction. It would be the obstruction of affliction. Okay, the affliction is that when you get afflicted, okay, then you get afflicted, then you cannot open your wisdom. Okay, and you cannot attain liberation. Okay, how does that translate into action? You get afflicted, you stop cultivating. You cannot cultivate when you're afflicted. For instance, if you're prone to anger, you cannot meditate. Conversely speaking, if you meditate, you're less angry. All right? So far, so good? Right. Now, he says, in terms of obstructions, you can talk about two kinds of obstruction. This is very interesting. Okay? He says, obstruction of affliction, obstruction of what is known. Affliction, we talked about it already. You're afflicted and you go berserk and say, the hell with you, the hell with the master, the hell with the Buddha Dharma, the hell with everyone. And they will fall to the three lower realms. Okay? What about the obstacles of what is known? Obstruction of what is known. Okay? What is that? He explains here. What is instruction, what is known? An attitude of feeling you know more than others and views are more correct than others. Not quite. My English is good, my Chinese is excellent, so forth, my Spanish is the best. Okay, so because you think you're better, therefore you cannot cultivate, you cannot learn from people who have wisdom. For example, professors. They say, I'm a professor, I'm a professor, full professor, okay? And I have PhD from Ivy League school. What have you got? You're a monk with no education. Okay, so that's why his knowledge, he's too proud of his knowledge of what he knows. That's what it's talking about. I know about engineering. I know what I'm doing. I know because I'm successful. I have a track record. Okay, that is the obstruction of what is known. Okay, the more you know, to put it in very simple terms, the more you know, it becomes an obstruction because you are what? What happens to people who know? You haven't met anyone like that? No one? They become closed-minded. I know. I'm the expert. There's nothing you could say that I don't already know. I don't want to hear it. Close-minded. And therefore, they can no longer learn. They become obsolete. Is that clear? So that this obstruction here is very, very prevalent. The more we know, the more we learn, it becomes, our knowledge becomes an obstruction to our cultivation. Yes, Evan.
Master, just to clarify, it sounds like it's not necessarily just the knowledge, it's about close-mindedness, right? If you have knowledge, but you are open-minded, is that a good combination?
I'm coming to that. Okay. You always have good leading questions. Okay? You know how to ask leading questions. It's very nice. Knowledge. You're so mean. Okay. I just described to you what Master Showa described. He says, the more you know, the more close-minded you are. For example, it's a very glaring thing, okay? This person, he's expert, let me see, architecture. I don't know, just pick a topic, architecture. And so as soon as you talk about buildings, talk about code, you talk about construction, he says, you don't know, I'm going to listen to you, you're an idiot, okay? You don't even know what it is. You have no sense of architecture. And they don't listen to you anymore. Okay? And that's the obstruction of knowledge of what is known. So far, so good? Is it clear, right? It happens to all of us. Yes? Jumi, who had been a JMT before any of you came, and learned from Master XZ, and who taught her how to do morning ceremony, how to bow, how to hit the handbell, okay? And then you guys came, and you do it all wrong. So she's not going to learn from you anymore. Sounds familiar to me? That's obstruction of knowledge. Got it? So far, so good? Are we still on the same page? It's not you, right? I'm not describing you. No, right? He said, I'm not like that. I'm not attached to my knowledge. I'm very humble. Good for you. There's a bigger problem of this obstruction, which is extremely dangerous. But I'm not going to tell you today. I don't feel like telling you today. Someone wants to bake? XP, would you like to bake? It's so insincere baking. Hey, tell us. These young people have no sincerity, no faith, no nothing. I forgot to tell you this morning, the biggest problem about being untrue, okay? The biggest problem, you can be untrue to yourself. But what's the bigger problem being untrue to yourself? Untrue to your good knowing advisor. That's a sentence of death, trust me. Okay? It relates to the obstruction of knowledge as well. Are you paying attention, Juby? You look too happy. Okay. Here's a problem, folks. After you become enlightened, don't tell the Bodhisattvas, okay? Don't tell them. That happened to Master Shinra disciples. I know I look too happy, but I'm controlling my excitement, okay? After you become enlightened, okay? Your wisdom, the knowledge you acquire from your wisdom, an obstruction for you to get higher. It's the most scary thing for bodhisattvas. All bodhisattvas have this problem. All of them. I'm talking about 100%. So you think you got it, right? You think you have wisdom, right? You think you're great because you're a bodhisattva, right? That's the obstacles of knowledge. Because you don't realize that. I saw many of Master Shinra disciples, the enlightened one, 8th rounds, 6th round, and so forth, 7th round, so forth. They're stuck with this problem. They don't even realize it. So, consider yourself to be very, very lucky, have a lot of blessings, because when you get up there, you remember my words. When I tell you, congratulations, you're now 5G. You say, yeah, let's go have a celebration. Ask Master C to buy us some coffee to celebrate pizza after coffee. Huh? You don't realize it. That knowledge, you reach 5G, you get to reach 4A, is an obstruction for you to go higher. Unless you're prepared, unless you get help. So a person like Master Xu Yun, for his entire life, look at him, his entire life as a patriarch, He's stuck there his entire life. You think it only happens to us? Happens to all of them. You feel better now? You're all in the same boat. So the Buddha is very, very compassionate. He says, you guys don't realize you have this big problem. The same thing with the Samguk Sunim's prior life. They think they know everything about Buddhism. They know how to train people. You know how to explain the Dharma. You know how to hit the in the foot fish and so forth. Okay? You know how to do ceremonies. That knowledge there, an obstruction to their cultivation. They don't realize it. Teji Sunim, what do you have to say for yourself? It's extremely dangerous because where you are, the knowledge that you acquire, you develop, is actually stopping you from going further. Give an example. See if it makes sense to you. Okay? You build a house. Your dream house by the ocean. Beautiful. 3-bedroom house, 3,000 square feet. You guys don't know what square feet is. 200 pyong. Okay. Wait, 300 pyong. Yeah, I'm being generous. You drive a Tesla? No, not Tesla. A Porsche? Never a Tesla. Okay. Maybe Lexus. It's kind of lower. Okay, never mind. You have this house there, and you love it, you're happy, okay, your whole family happy. Okay, here's what happened to you. You don't no longer look for a better house. That's a subtlety. You understand me? You're so happy. You got everything you ever want. Food, house, amenities, neighborhood, neighbors, and so forth. And he said, I'm so happy. Why do I need to look for a better place? But if you were to keep an open mind, maybe you run into a house in Beverly Hills, which is far better in principle. You got that? That's the obstruction of what is known. You know about happiness, know about what you want, know about your family, know about your life, and that's why you're stuck there. That's what happens to bodhisattvas. Shh, don't tell them. Losers. You got that? So you think you're successful, yeah? You know how to live your life, right? Obstruction of what is known. Obstruction of knowledge. So, name someone who has that problem. Ija. Name. Famous person. 7.
There's a Russian chess player. He's like number 1.
Kasparov?
Yes. He thinks he's the champion of the world, but he is actually just the champion of chess. So that's a famous kind of saying about him. Sorry.
Okay.
I was thinking about a friend, but you said famous person, that's the first one jumped to my mind.
Okay. That's the only famous person you can think of. Oh my God. This woman is weird. Anyone else can help her out. XQ too. Name a famous person.
I feel all of them are like that.
All of them like that. This guy is really looked down upon the world. Anyone else would like to name a name? Elon, Jensen, Bezos, Buffet, they all have that problem. Me, if you think of me famous, I have the same problem as well. It's unavoidable. As soon as you get there, you have the obstruction of what you know. it's the most scary thing because you're stuck and you don't realize it. And you just fool yourself, I'm so successful and so happy. I have 13 children, a lot more than Master Yonghua recommends. He only talked before, I got 13 children, Elon says. Yeah? Or some shameless Republican says, I know my wife loves me. You know what I mean? God, that's the obstruction of what is known. Okay, anyone else? You see, all of them, all of us have that problem. No one is immune to it. Why? Because we're not Buddhas yet, and yet we stop prematurely. We can't help ourselves. The more successful you become, the more attached you are to it. That's why bodhisattvas who have wisdom are frightened of this one thing, the obstruction of knowledge. That's it. They're not afraid of anything. They're not afraid of ghosts. They're not afraid of demons. They're not afraid of, of you. They're not afraid of you, me. They're not afraid of anyone. But they're only afraid of one thing, obstruction of knowledge, because not much you can do against it. Nothing. Old monk, what do you have to say about relics?
Con biết xá lợi, nhưng mà cái message 12 đó là mình được chư Phật đó là dạy dỗ, và cái niềm tin càng ngày càng sâu thêm.
See what I mean? He still doesn't get it. Dead. Don't translate. It's too private. Well, go ahead, Thuy, translate.
I know that.
Three's gone now? God, you keep on changing.
Hello. I know that relics, they have a message behind it, is that we have the Buddha and Bodhisattva teaching us, so the belief, the faith is deepened.
That's a knowledge, right? Is that knowledge? That the Buddha and Bodhisattva is behind you and support you? Right? That's what you talk about, right? It sounds like obstruction of knowledge, no, don't you think? Yes, you don't get it, do you? That's why it's scary to Bodhisattvas. We're being stopped. We're stopping ourselves. We don't realize it. That's death to Bodhisattvas. This one doesn't get it. Okay, go ahead and ask. 7.
Master, are you saying the solution to overcome this abstraction is to aim really high? We don't stop till we get to become a Buddha?
So you want to aim high, yeah? Right? What does it sound like?
Greedy? I don't know.
You know to aim high, yeah? What is that called? Knowledge that you need to aim high. Knowledge that you are being stuck. Knowledge you have the knowledge obstruction. How does it help you? Knowledge that the Buddha is helping you. You're being obstructed, and yet you don't even know. That's why the Buddha is extremely, extremely wise. Only he can see that. You can't see it. See, and this woman here wants a solution for everything. He said, but if the Buddha teaches that, there must be a solution. What do you think, Vietnam Republican?
Is it safe to remind ourselves we are stupid until we become the Buddha?
Very good. What is that called? You should know that you should remind yourself that you're stupid until you become a Buddha. What is that called? Begins with a K.
A sentence?
Knowledge. Let's go to Go Force. My favorite people. How are you going to fix this problem? He always has something to say. He knows so much. Now they all want to hear him. Every time he talks, they say, but now they want to listen to him.
Amitabha Master. I think we don't need to rely on ourselves, but we just follow the instruction.
The rest of you, you're not going to let him talk for you. You rely on his knowledge. Sir, go ahead. What do you have to say for yourself? There you go.
Hello, Master. To me, I think because sometimes we don't get direct instruction from Master, so I think just go from the heart.
Okay. Anyone else?
Dạ thưa thầy, empty thưa thầy.
Empty, very good. What is empty? The knowledge is empty, correct? Is it fair to say? Sounds like an abstraction to me.
Don't think.
Don't think? What's that called? You should know you should not think, right? Okay, very good. Anyone else? 7. What do you have to offer?
I feel it doesn't matter what do we say. Everything we say now is start with a K. So,
isn't it why now you understand why it's scary. We cannot escape it. That's why the Bodhisattvas are terrified of this. Wherever they look, they see traps. Yes, William. Master Z, how do you fix this problem? We've been sparing Master Z for the last weekend or so.
I don't know, Master.
He doesn't know. Okay.
I still had a piece given from us.
He's smarter than the rest of you. I don't know. This guy is too fast, too slippery. And what does it sound like? He doesn't know? Huh? He knows that he doesn't know. And what is that called? Knowledge. Thank you. Nice try. Too slippery, this guy. The Vietnamese are too slippery. Okay, Wei Mao, what do you propose? What's your solution?
Thank you, Master. I'd like to volunteer myself as the next victim. I think, I believe my approach would be to try to limit my thinking and focus on doing good deeds.
Good knowledge. That's try the impossible. Jumi.
복을 짓고 선지식의 지침을 따릅니다.
No.
Accumulate blessing and follow instruction of good knowing advisor.
The only way for you to escape it is follow your good know advisor. Don't depend on yourself. You're dead if you depend on your knowledge. You see how profound our Chan is? You understand now? We teach you, we prepare you for this already. We know because these patriarchs, they're stuck, they know they're stuck. They have no more teachers. They're stuck. That's why Xu Yun builds temples. That's why not Edict builds temples and fixes temples, because he can't do anything else. That's all he knows. Xu Yun spends his entire life building temples. Seriously? Don't you find it weird? For you idiots say, oh, he's so selfless. He builds temples to help others. But that's the only thing he knows. Don't you get it? Huh? You see, what you know is killing you, is making you stuck, and you don't even realize it. You think you're so proud of yourself. I know my real, I know this, I can make this happen. What is that called again? Knowledge. You're dead. This woman is very unhappy. 7.
Master, why following the good knowing advisor is not a knowledge? And many Bodhisattvas, I'm sure they follow their good knowing advisor. They probably are still stuck.
Who is his good knowing advisor? No. His good knowing advisor is Manjushri, Wanyin Bodhisattva. That's why he's stuck. When was the last time Wanyin tells you what to do to get out of your rut? Old man. You stuck. The last 2 years. What did she tell
Không có
you?
nhớ.
See the problem? So that's why in our China world, okay, your biggest asset is what? Believing in your good knowing advisor, no matter what. Because you don't know. You don't realize your blind spots. You cannot see. You're being bound by your knowledge. You cannot see beyond here. And so you cannot understand this much. Okay? Your good knowing advisor sees a lot more, but he can't tell you. You're too stupid. Can't tell you yet.
Yes, my master.
Have you thought of it, old man? If Wanyin Bodhisattva teaches you, Manjushri Bodhisattva, you take refuge with him, he's supposed to teach you, yeah? Okay? then what's going to happen to Master Shinhua? He has nothing to do. You thought about it?
Con cũng nghĩ là trên cái đường con tiến bộ là có Hòa Thượng Niên Hóa sau lưng.
This is why these idiots don't understand. I'm going to teach you now. Okay, this is American way out. I'll be blunt with you, not Chinese way out. American way out. Okay, you stick with your good advisor to death. There's so much you don't understand, so much you can't see, can't explain to you, but you're stuck by your knowledge. You see that? Yeah, as long as you're here, you're perfectly happy and you're comfortable. But what you don't realize is this is actually confining you to the status quo, which is death. Can you think of a monk who's like that? Hateti Sunim? Anyone you know? Yes, that's correct. The only antidote to that is someone has to slap you at the right time and say, "Wake up!" Because you're stuck and you don't realize it. You're so full of yourself. I know what I want. I know what I need. Yeah? You only know this much. This is why Chinese chant is by far the most profound. They prepare you already. You just don't realize it. And they lost it. Master Shinhua prepared them, but they lost it. They stopped believing in Master Shinhua. Questions, comments? Okay? Okay, 3.
마스터께서 토요 법문에서 진전의 중요한 요건이 지침을 따른다였어요. 네, 한번 끊을게요.
Master, on Saturday, your Dharma talk, you said the key point of making progress is following instruction.
제 질문은 마스터의 인스트럭션을 따르는 데 중요한 요인이 그게 블레싱인지 아니면 과제 집중력인지가 질문이에요. 네.
It doesn't work like that. Don't go there. Instructions change. This is why I didn't bother commenting on the shameless Republican. Okay? Instructions are also knowledge. Instructions will change. It's not the same anymore. Got that? They will be changed. It might be sometimes the opposite. Sometimes steal! Remember the famous anecdote? In Buddhism, we taught not to kill, right? Is one of the precept is thou shalt not kill. Correct? Everyone knows that, right? There's a Chan master who has his favorite disciple, a very rich woman, very, very devoted to him. And he says, he's been studying with him for 20 years, 30 years now, and one day he says, "Follow me." Climbs up on a cliff and said, the master turned to his favorite female disciple and says, "Jump." So she jumped. And she died. And she became enlightened. Is it worth it? You ask me? No, but but for her it is. You see? The teaching he's been teaching her is that don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. In the end he says, kill yourself. He said, okay. This is to illustrate instructions will change. To unstuck your knowledge.
마스터 제 질문은
That knowledge cannot stop you because you don't know when it's going to happen. I just taught you should have a knowledge that instruction will change. You say, okay, in that knowledge will get me stuck. No, that knowledge is not going to make you stuck because you don't know when. You don't know what instruction will change.
질문이 아직 안 나왔어요. 마스터 제 질문은 선지식이 계속 바뀌는 인스트럭션을 따르는 데 중요한 요건이 복인지 과제 집중력인지가 질문이었습니다.
So learn from, do not learn the bad habits from the Vietnamese, from the Koreans, from the Chinese, so forth, and say, I want to take refuge with the Manjushri Bodhisattva, with Wanyin Bodhisattva, because it's the best Bodhisattva there is, the wisest person, and so forth. Okay? When you do that, let me be blunt with you. Then you want Manjushri to tell you, right? To teach you, right? Reasonable. But when you do that, your own good advisor says, well, now the Wanyin Bodhisattva is responsible for him. I don't need to worry about it. And you're cutting yourself off that teaching will free you this lifetime. That Manjushri cannot do, that Wanyin Bodhisattva cannot do for you. Because it's not his job to do that. Do you get it? It's not his job. He helps you, but it's not his job. It's not his most important job. Disloyal people get what they deserve. This is the most profound teaching the Chinese are not teaching you. Okay? We are all stuck by our knowledge. Nothing you can do about it. Case in point. Okay? The brightest scientist, a genius, let's say Nobel, okay? He is so smart, he is so far ahead of his time. He can reach up the peak, and guess what happened to him? He's stuck with that knowledge. That's it. Cannot go further. Happened to all of us. You have this chance to rise above it. You keep on making the same mistakes. I want to be the smartest. I want to be the most genius. I want to be the most successful. What is that? The knowledge and how to be the best, how to be successful, how to be the smartest. Huh? And what is that? Knowledge that will obstruct your further progress. Why didn't Manjushri teach you that? Because it's not his job. Why didn't Master Shenhua teach his disciples this? Look at all this instruction. He says, observe what is known. Why didn't he teach this to his disciples? You think he doesn't know? Of course he knows. At his level, he knows about this problem. The obstacle of what is known, he knows about it. He has a solution too. His own solution. Because it's not a problem. Okay? How come he doesn't teach? Because his disciples are not good enough yet. You don't give it to them unless they're able to absorb it. Yes, JC.
네. 아미타불 마스터, 그 구반다 귀신에게 자주 가위 눌리는 사람이 자주 공격을 당하지 않으려면 예방할 수 있는 방법이 있을까요?
Master, I have a question about Kumbanda ghost. If there's someone who get paralyzed frequently by this ghost, is there any way to avoid this situation in the future?
Take refuge with the Kumbanda ghost. And please stop hurting me. He's a Mahasava. Anyway, you take refuge with this person here, this Kumbanda ghost, Robert's arms. You see, her arms are there already. It's just Robert's arms. Arushu, hey, your arms look like him. There you go. We saw the sleep mantra. Is it you who have a problem with Kumbana ghost? Who has a problem? Tell the truth.
제가 사춘기쯤에 자주 가위를 눌렸던 기억이 나고 저희 보건실에 오는 학생들이 가끔씩 쉴 때 눌린다고 해서 질문드렸습니다.
I remember, Master, when I was a teenager, that happened to me. Also, when my students comes to my office, they also mentioned that they get paralyzed.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people. They don't realize it's a Kumbanda ghost. And again, 99.99% of the time, it's okay. They just terrify you. But in very, very extremely rare occasions, they actually suffocate and die because they forget to breathe. That's all. The fear paralyzes them. Okay? So in these cases, it's not a whole lot. You can give them a sleep mantra. It would help a little. Okay? And I remember one of my earliest disciples, this Caucasian lady, she's kind of a playgirl. She's very attractive. Okay, so she when she sleeps, they come harass her constantly. And so this is my early one of my. I think she's the second disciple of mine, or third. I don't remember. The first one is a bird, but she would tell me that at night they come and harass me. They do this, they do that to me. I said, oh wow, really? And sometimes a paralysis goes. Sometimes it's something else. I don't want to tell you. It's so many things that happen to her. And I didn't know why at the time. I couldn't understand why it happened to certain people, not others. Okay? And now that I understand, I'm not explain to you either. But I was stupid, so I said, I give you a sleep mantra. She tried sleep mantra, worked for a while, and then stopped working. And then I said, I tell you what, I have this Vietnamese given to me by some devoted Vietnamese disciples of these beads. Okay? I give it to you. Why do you move? Never mind. So get these beads here, okay? And recite Medicine Master Mantra, okay? And so recite Medicine Master Mantra and for a while, and then pretty soon they come back, okay? And then she says, he says, ultimately, I didn't know what else to do. You try everything you taught me. So eventually at night, I put the beads right on my chest. He says, Mrs. masteryonghua disciple, you here? and it stopped them. Believe it or not, I couldn't believe it. I have to brag a little, forgive me. So they didn't bother her at all for a long while. Okay? And one day she came to me, Master, it happened again. I said, what happened? They said, what happened to the beads? They took the beads and threw it up in the air and fell down and broke into, because the Vietnamese beads, they use very cheap threads. The beads are nice, but the threads are very cheap. These are early days, these are 20 years ago, where they use nice fragrant, like chandana wood, to carve the beads, okay? But back then in Vietnam, the threads are very, very fragile, okay? So they use a thread to piece the beads together. So the ghost took the beads and threw it up on the wall and then broke to 1,000 pieces, 108 pieces. Nietzsche now is awake. Okay? So it's a lot of fun, cultivation, and a lot of fun. A lot of strange things happen. That's how you learn. Okay, where are we? Oh, it's time is up. I think we're gonna stop here because basically what I shared with you through you, we're sharing with a lot of people that if you have, even the people who have great wisdom, they know they have a big problem, let alone those who don't have wisdom, meaning enlightened people, they also eventually will be taught there are some big issues, okay? And they have to be very vigilant. Don't assume that you can handle it, okay? Because you end up stopping yourself with your own knowledge, with your own success, with your own experience. Isn't that fascinating? All right, stop here today. Thank you, everyone.